Hello everyone. Thank you for joining me for my weekly chat with a college prep guru. This week I'm chatting with Wayne Weber, the CEO of Gift of College, and he is a guru when it comes to all things college savings. So welcome.
Thank you. Thanks so much for having me, Jordan.
Yeah, it's great to have you. So first, why don't you just give us the rundown of who you are, what you do, and how you got into this?
Sure. Well, again, my name is Wayne Weber. I am the founder and CEO of Gift of College, which is a gift registry for 529 college savings plans and student loans that lets friends and family contribute. And I got into it for personal reasons. My nieces and nephews, little ones that I wanted to give to, and tried to give to their college savings one day, and it was difficult. So, boom, here I am actually spending my career trying to, make it easier for myself and, of course, others.
Yeah, that's funny. A personal reason is, I think, always the reason. And I've interviewed several people for this already, and everyone has a personal story. They either fell into it or they went through some kind of personal experience. And so I find that's kind of how everyone ends up doing what they do.
Right.
Yeah. So you said gift registry for college savings. And so people probably, it makes sense intuitively, but explain to us what that is, because that's not a common thing.
It's not. And, when I went to give to these little guys one year and it was difficult, that's one of the first things I thought of was, well, they have the knot, right? For a wedding registry. They have the bump for a baby registry. They didn't really have anything for this college savings registry. So that's what we built. We built a gift registry for your college savings or 529 plan, and it lets you start a profile, link your existing 529 or student loan account, and then you have this social profile where friends and family and companies can go online and contribute directly, and we facilitate the process of getting those funds into your 529 plan or, like I said, your student loan account.
Yeah, that is so cool. And so I'm just curious, what are you finding? How are people using this most often? Is it like birthdays and things like that? Is it parents or people giving to students and they don't have a 529 plan, or do they typically have one established? That's a lot of questions, but I'm just curious.
It is, and we're learning, right? We're learning as we go because this is a brand new product. We definitely feel we're, disrupting the 529 industry a little bit, changing the way, people can get one started or contribute to one. And that's kind of the answer. These are being used. A gift into our registry is being used for birthdays, for, holiday seasons, graduation season. So, any typical event that you could do a crowdfunding campaign, if you will. That's kind of how our registry works. So we've seen a ton of that. But now we have a gift card too. So once we put a gift card into the mix, it became, also helping people get started. So, getting somebody started in this whole process of saving for college, which is kind of difficult, right? But getting them kicked off is super important. And our gift cards help do that. So our gift cards or the registry, Gift of College gift cards are redeemable through Gift of College only into any 529 plan or any student loan account. So if you don't have one, it's kind of that incentive to start.
Yeah, that's really cool. Well, let's dig into a little bit about student debt, since a lot of what we're talking about goes back to that. And so let's talk about the crisis that we're in. What do families need to know from your perspective?
We hear all the time in the news the word crisis, and sometimes it's inflated and whatnot. This is not fake. This is not inflated. I consider this a multi-generational economic crisis because it's so big. This 1.3, 1.4 now trillion dollars in student loan debt. It's larger than credit cards. It's larger than the last housing bubble, crisis that we just had. And specific to that housing bubble, you had an asset, homes, to kind of help bail you out of it. Unfortunately, college degrees are not tangible. So to use it as an asset to get you out of the debt it's not going to happen. So with that said, we say the same thing all day long: save, 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 because it's really the only thing you can do, to kind of counterbalance, that debt.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, what about? I ask this a lot. What about families who maybe haven't been saving early and they didn't start that 529 plan and this wasn't around? They didn't have gift of college, so they weren't getting these contributions at various times of the year. What if they're just starting and they're kind of late in the game? Do you have any tips for them?
You know, you're never ever too late. Every single dollar you save is going to be more than a dollar your kid won't have to borrow, even if you're super late in the game. So just get started. Don't, we always look at it like, well, what's the strategy? My kid's going to college in 4 years. Let's spend 6 months sitting down with somebody and putting a strategy together. No, start saving. Open a 529. It's not too late. Engage your friends and family. That's what Gift of College is all about, right? Grandma, grandpa, aunts, uncles. I know tons of kids, and my nieces and nephews were some of them that they didn't need stuff, that ended up in a garage sale. Just as much as a 15-year-old you might give an iTunes gift card to. No offense to iTunes, I love it. I want my iTunes cards. But you can maybe use, instead of a bunch of those, use one or two gift cards or gifting occasions towards that college savings. But it's never too late. Just get something in there and get going.
Yeah. And so, speaking of that, I mean, I feel like you're kind of changing the way that people think about college savings, changing that culture around saving and making it more of a kind of collective group effort, which I think is so cool because people don't typically think about it in that way. And so, what are you seeing changes on the horizon as far as like how people think about college savings?
I think so. I hope so. I'll tell you, our goal was to really change at least 529. Most people don't know what a 529 is still. The majority of parents still don't know what a 529 is. So bringing an awareness to that, I think, is super important. And bringing an awareness to, one, getting families started in them. They're not just tax havens for the rich. They're a great tax advantage that everybody can use because you get to save in it, and the interest you earn is tax-free, regardless of what income level you have. Now we're starting to see more and more employers, touch on it. So it's just, I do think we are changing the game a little bit. And then our retail distribution, having college savings in the form of a gift card, it makes it simple, easy, cool, call it whatever you want. But the fact that it hangs on a shelf at Toys R Us next to toys, it's pretty cool. And it is changing the way, people think about college savings.
Yeah, definitely. I couldn't agree more. I love the idea that I can just go out and contribute to a niece or a nephew or a brother or anyone, cousin, and can help them save even if they have, or maybe they haven't started a fund. So I think that's really cool at all ages too. That's right. What's so cool.
Yeah, don't forget, yes, the student loans. So 25% of our gift cards redeemed to date have been redeemed into student loan accounts.
Oh, wow.
So thank you for saying the all ages, because let's not forget the folks that aren't saving for college. They're simply paying for it at this time.
Yeah. Wow. Okay, that's a good point, that it can be paid directly down on the loan, is what you're saying.
Right. Through our registry. Same as the 529, you link your student loan, and we link to almost all of them. Eventually it will be all of them like it is with 529. But yeah, we see a great number of people using it for that.
That's amazing. I love that. Well, this has been enlightening. I'm excited for families to learn about this because, like you said, you're new. And so I want to make sure people know, because we do get that question that I asked you a lot earlier about what do I do kind of late in the game. And this is a way to do that, is to tell everyone in your family, we want help saving. So instead of a pair of shoes or an iTunes gift card, contribute to their 529 account. That's great.
You got it.
We always wrap things up with the same question. So do you have any other tips or tricks for families on the college bound journey?
Don't make it too complicated. I think 529 plans in general kind of were complicated, but they don't have to be. Just start saving for college. Don't look into it too hard. And I don't mean college. Please look into your college, but don't sit and wait a year trying to figure out, how to save for college instead of, starting to save. And then, don't be afraid of doing what's right for you. And you being the kid, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. So spending, tens of thousands of dollars at a university for my freshman year and sophomore year, it was silly. So I went to a community college. I figured out, my direction, where I wanted to go, transferred into university, and you know what? It saved my family a fortune of money, and I wasn't really even thinking about it in that context. I'm sure my dad was, but really thinking about it, it's like, oh, okay, I'll figure out my way. There's nothing wrong with that. So, make sure you look at all those different ways, because just telling you to, look for a scholarship, please do that too, but that's not going to be your best answer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's definitely a path for every student. It just takes a little bit of work and sitting down and figuring out what you want and what's feasible, and then you can decide what's best for you. But I definitely agree with everything that you said. So, well, thank you again for being here. We really appreciate it, and you've inspired me. I need to do an episode on 529 plans and just focus on that. That would make a great one, because there is a lot involved, but I think we could cover it probably in 10 minutes, so we'll do our best. But thanks again. I really appreciate you being here.
Thanks, Jordan. Take care.
Yeah, you too.